Before we dive into the blood and betrayal of the 15th century, remember that if you're a fan of epic history, hit that subscribe button for EDU Facts TV. Now, let's travel back to a time when your family name was either your greatest shield or your death warrant. Think Game of Thrones is intense? The real history it was based on is even crazier. Welcome to the Wars of the Roses, a 30-year roller coaster of dynastic civil war that tore England apart. It wasn't just a fight over a crown. It was a brutal grudge match between two branches of the same family. The House of Lancaster, represented by the red rose, and the House of York, symbolized by the white rose. To understand how this chaos started, we have to look at the man at the center of the storm, King Henry VI. By the mid-1400s, England was sliding into near anarchy. Henry wasn't a warrior king like his father. He was feckless, simple-minded, and prone to spells of total madness. This power vacuum was filled by his ambitious queen, Margaret of Anjou, and a council of greedy nobles who turned the government into a personal battleground. Enter Richard, the Duke of York. By 1450, Richard had become the leader of a powerful league of barons. When King Henry lapsed into insanity in 1453, Richard was installed as the protector of the realm. But the peace didn't last. When the king recovered in 1455, the Queen's party pushed Richard out, forcing him to take up arms just to survive. The first blow was struck at the Battle of St. Albans, and for the next 30 years, mercy became a forgotten word in English politics. The fighting reached a fever pitch in 1459. After a series of skirmishes and a temporary exile in Ireland, the Yorkists regrouped under the leadership of Richard Neville, the Earl of Warwick. History remembers him by a much cooler name, the Kingmaker. Warwick was the ultimate power broker, commanding hundreds of followers across 20 counties. In 1460, he decisively defeated the Lancastrian forces at Northampton, effectively disinheriting the king's own son. But the Lancastrians weren't done. In a shocking turn of events at the Battle of Wakefield, they surprised and killed Richard of York. It looked like the White Rose was finished, but Richard's eldest son, Edward, proved to be an even more formidable leader. At just 19 years old, he was proclaimed King Edward IV. He pursued the Lancastrian army north to Towton in 1461. This remains the bloodiest battle ever fought on English soil. In a blinding snowstorm, the Yorkists won a total victory, forcing Queen Margaret and the Mad King to flee for their lives. For a few years, Edward IV ruled with the Kingmaker by his side. Warwick was the real power behind the throne, ruthlessly hunting down the last Lancastrian pockets and trying to fix the broken economy. But as Edward grew older, he grew tired of being Warwick's puppet. The breaking point? A secret, impulsive marriage to Elizabeth Woodville. Warwick had been negotiating a French alliance for the king, and this secret wedding was a massive public insult. By 1467, the alliance was dead. Warwick, the man who put Edward on the throne, now dedicated his life to taking him down. He organized rebellions, executed the Queen's family, and eventually forced Edward to flee the country. In a move no one saw coming, the Kingmaker allied with his former archenemy, Margaret of Anjou, and restored the frail Henry VI to the throne. For 6 months, Warwick ruled England as a lieutenant. But Edward IV was a survivor. He returned from the Netherlands with a fresh army, deposed Henry once again, and finally crushed the opposition. The Wars of the Roses would continue to simmer until the rise of the Tudors. But the era of the Kingmaker and the simple-minded king had changed England forever. It was a period of calculated ferocity that paved the way for a new, stronger government.